Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all of the latest news and games. And you know the Xbox All Digital Edition, the console that a lot of people just kind of wrote off as a failure? Well, it seems to have gotten a big boost in terms of sales, so yeah, we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. And also, Hideo Kojima just keeps popping back into the news, and here he is yet again, and has a few people concerned about the long-term future of Kojima Productions, though I don't think we should worry just yet. Also, we have a few other things to talk about as well, including Xbox, PlayStation, and even Steam. But let's first discuss the Xbox One S All Digital Edition because I have found its life cycle to be very interesting to say the least. Now see, the whole reason this thing exists in the first place is to have the cheapest hardware on the market by removing the optical drive and making it all digital. The problem has always been, though, it was never really the cheapest option, as you could get the Xbox One S for the exact same price. And because of this, most people just kind of wrote off the all-digital edition, or at least until now, because it's starting to finally be what it set out to be, which is the cheapest option on the market. As of this very moment, you can buy it for $150 and apparently it's been seeing a bit of a resurgence as consumers rush out to buy it for this holiday, and apparently, in Spain this week, it has already sold 4,000 units. That is in comparison to its usual 200 units a week, so that is a massive increase. And I don't think I need to tell you, but a part of the holidays is getting great deals. Well, the Xbox Digital Edition is that deal. And I also think as time has went on, digital has become bigger and bigger in the game industry, and well, that's just a fact. I'm a collector myself, and I've liked my physical games in the past, but even I have switched over to digital as time has went on. Now with that said, I do think that a few parents that don't really know what they're buying could end up being a little upset as they buy a game disc with their brand new Xbox Digital Edition, but I don't think that that's going to be a huge problem, mainly because Microsoft is very heavily emphasizing all digital edition on the box. So hopefully that doesn't become a big problem this holiday. But I do think that the digital edition selling so well is a big deal for two reasons. One will be a little bit more immediate because I think this will be really good for Xbox Game Pass. I think the two selling side by side could do some really big numbers, and I think this holiday in general will be big for Xbox Game Pass. However, the other reason I think the digital edition doing well is a big deal is because of next generation. It's been a little while since we heard about this, but at one point in time, it was rumored that Microsoft was working on multiple next generation consoles. One would be the Anaconda, which was supposed to be this beast of a console that was extremely powerful. This one, of course, would be Xbox Scarlet. But there was also Lockhart, which was supposed to be a more stripped down version, but supposedly, Xbox canceled Lockhart. But there still has been some rumors about whether or not Xbox would include an optical drive, and it seems by this point they absolutely will. With that said, if this does well enough, I could see Xbox making two next-generation consoles, one with an optical drive and one that would be a little cheaper that is focused on digital, and maybe it won't come out at launch, but I do think that we'll see it at some point later down the road if the all-digital edition does good this generation. I mean, we've seen different iterations of consoles in the past. I mean, you look at Xbox One to Xbox One X and Xbox One S, and you have all these different models, so even if it's not at launch, I mean, you could see it later down the road. Regardless, I'm curious to see what happens, but if you're interested in buying an Xbox, it may be a good time. Now staying on topic with the Xbox also announced the Xbox Games with Gold for December, and it's a pretty solid month, mainly because you can get both Jurassic World Evolution and Castlevania Mirror of Fate HD. You can also get Toy Story 3 and Insane Robots, but really, I do think the big one here is Jurassic World Evolution. I've been waiting to try this one out myself for a while now, as I am a big fan of Jurassic Park and have been holding off from getting it, but it seems like it's the time. And I know there is a lot of you Castlevania fans out there as well, so it's not a bad month for games with gold. Now, PlayStation also announced the PlayStation Plus games, which is Titanfall 2 and Monster Energy Supercross. I can't speak firsthand about Monster Energy, But I will say that Titanfall 2 is one of the best first-person shooters this generation, and not only does it have a great multiplayer, but the single-player campaign is surprisingly very good. Respawn Entertainment in general has just ended up being an excellent developer. They have Titanfall, they have Apex, and then they just released the new Star Wars game, which I've heard is doing really well too. All I'm saying is, if for whatever reason you haven't played Titanfall 2 and you like first-person shooters, you need to go check this one out. In other news, I want to talk about Hideo Kojima because once again he's in the news, and this seems to have caused some kind of concern, though I'm not entirely sure there should be any as of this moment. But the co-founder of Kojima Productions, Kenichiro Imizumi, has reportedly departed Kojima Productions. Now, that in itself is no big deal because after big projects, they just kind of move all around the place. But it's the next part that has people talking so much, which is that according to one source, the reason he left the company was because of disagreement with Hideo Kojima. The thing is, we do mostly hear about Hideo Kojima, but Kenichiro has been with Kojima since 2001, and they've worked together ever since. So him leaving is kind of a big deal, though we don't really know the reason as to why. Hideo Kojima did kind of hint towards developing a horror game next, and maybe Kenichiro just didn't want to do that, or maybe it's something completely different. It's hard to tell, but I thought I'd at least mention it, and I don't think there is anything to worry about. It really could be so many different things, and at the end of the day, Kojima is going to be Kojima. I'm hoping his next game is great, and even though Death Stranding was polarizing, I'm very optimistic towards his next game. Now the last thing I want to talk about is the Steam controller, and that's because it's officially being discontinued. The Steam controller is actually $5 right now on Steam during the autumn sale, which by the way, definitely go check out the autumn sale if you haven't. But if you were ever interested in the Steam controller, the time to jump on is right now. The thing is, I bought the Steam controller when it first launched, and Steam was looking to revolutionize controllers by removing analog sticks and trying to emulate a mouse, which is just much more accurate. It, however, just didn't catch on the way they wanted to, and I've played with it extensively, and it really isn't a bad controller. I think it does a lot of things really well. I love the triggers on the back, and I believe they call them paddles, and the mouse-like touchpads are very interesting. There is a lot of potential with them, and some people even say it can be just as accurate as a mouse or close to it if you use the gyroscope. I never could get used to it myself, but hey, maybe you can. It's only $5, so it may be worth a try. Anyways though, that's it for this video, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit that bell notification and subscribe button. Peace out.